We will discuss important 150 MCQs of financial accounting. These questions are important for various job recruitment exams. Watch complete video to qualify for the jobs and to get good score in academics. 1. The balance of cash account indicates A. Net income for the period. B. Net loss for the period. C. Net cash on hand. D. Net worth of the business. Correct answer is C. 2. Which of the following financial reports shows the profitability of business? A. Income statement. B. Balance sheet. C. Cash flow statement. D. Statement of changes in equity. Correct answer is A. 3. Preparation of trial balance helps deduction of A. Error of principle. B. Compensating errors. C. Clerical errors. D. Errors of whole omission. Correct answer is C. 4. Which of the following financial statements shows the movement of cash and cash equivalents in during an accounting period? A. Income statement. B. Balance sheet. C. Cash flow statement. D. Statement of changes in equity. Correct answer is C. 5. Debit means A. Decrease in asset. B. Increase in liability. C. An entry on the left-hand side of an account. D. Moderate increase in liability. Correct answer is C. 6. What journal entry is required to record goods taken from inventory by the owner of a business? A. Debit drawings and credit purchases. B. Debit sales and credit drawings. C. Debit drawings and credit inventory. D. Debit drawings and credit inventory. Correct answer is A. 7. Whose needs are general purpose financial statements intended to meet? A. Shareholders of incorporated entities. B. The general public. C. Users of financial statements. D. Regulatory authorities. Correct answer is C. 8. What does GAAP represents? A. Generally accepted audit procedure. B. Generally accepted accounting principles. C. General agreement on audit principles. D. General agreement on accounting principles. Correct answer is B. 9. Which of the following does not appear in balance sheet? A. Building. B. Cash. C. Goodwill. D. Rent expenses. Correct answer is D. 10. According to the going concern concept, a business entity is assumed to have A. A long life. B. A very short life. C. An indefinite life. D. A medium life. Correct answer is A. 11. The process of entering all transactions from the journal to ledger is called A. Posting. B. Entry. C. Accounting. D. None of the above. Correct answer is A. 12. Which body develops international financial reporting standards? A. IASB. B. IFRS Foundation. C. IFRS IC. D. IFRS Advisory Council. Correct answer is A. 13. Which of the following are techniques, tools, or methods of analysis and interpretation of financial statements? A. Ratio analysis. B. Average analysis. C. Trend analysis. D. All of the above. Correct answer is D. 14. The following is a statement showing the financial status of the company at any given time. A. Trading. B. Profit and loss. C. Balance sheet. D. Cash book. Correct answer is C. 15. In bookkeeping, posting means A. To record the transactions from the journal to ledger. B. To record the transactions in the journal. C. To record the transactions in the subsidiary books. D. To record the transactions in the cash book. Correct answer is A. 16. The process of providing financial information to external decision maker is referred to as A. Public accounting. B. Government accounting. C. Financial accounting. D. Management accounting. Correct answer is C. 17. Balance sheet is a statement of A. Assets. B. Liabilities. C. Capital. D. All the above. Correct answer is D. 18. The primary objective of financial reporting is to provide information A. About a firm's financing and investing activities. B. About a firm's economic resources and obligations. C. About a firm's product lines. D. Useful in predicting cash flows. Correct answer is D. 19. The credit balance of bank account indicates A. Amount payable by the bank. B. Amount payable to the bank. C. Cash at bank. D. Loan from bank. Correct answer is B. 20 GAAP include which of the following pronouncements? A. Statements of Financial Accounting Standards. B. Accounting Research Bulletin. C. Accounting Principles Board Opinions. D. All of the above. Correct answer is D. 21 The documents that set forth fundamental concepts on which financial accounting and reporting standards will be based are: A. Statements of Financial Accounting Standards. B. Statements of Financial Accounting Concepts. C. Accounting Principles Board Opinions. D. All of the above. Correct answer is B. 22 Depreciation accounting is dealt in: A as 1, B as 4, C as 6, D as 3. Correct answer is C. 23 Which of the following books should be used to record purchase of furniture on credit? A. Cash book. B. Journal proper. C. Purchases book. D. Sales book. Correct answer is B. 24 Cash flow statement is dealt in: A as 1, B as 3, C as 2, D as 6. Correct answer is B. 25 What are inflows and outflows of cash and cash equivalents? A. Cash flows. B. Fund flows. C. Cash and fund flow. D. None of the above. Correct answer is A. 26 Returns outward book makes a record of: A. Goods returned to the suppliers. B. Goods returned to customers. C. Goods returned to proprietor. D. Goods returned to neighbors. Correct answer is A. 27 Withdrawn for personal use is posted to: A. Drawings account. B. Cash account. C. Bank account. D. None of these. Correct answer is A. 28 The statement sent along with purchase return is: A. Credit note. B. Bills payable book. C. Debit note. D. Purchases return book. Correct answer is A. 29 A bank reconciliation statement is prepared by: A. Customer of the bank. B. Bank. C. Neither of the above two. D. Reserve Bank of India. Correct answer is A. 30 Accounting Standard Board was constituted on: A. January 21, 1977. B. April 21, 1978. C. May 23, 1979. D. December 20, 1977. Correct answer is A. 31 In cash flow statement, closing balance of cash balance is posted in which side of statement? A. Sources of cash. B. Application of cash. C. Sources of funds. D. Application of funds. Correct answer is B. 32 In cash flow statement, closing balances of bank balance is posted in which side of the statement? A. Sources of cash. B. Application of cash. C. Sources of funds. D. Application of funds. Correct answer is B. 33 Expand IFRS. A. International Financial Report System. B. International Financial Reporting Standard. C. Indian Financial Reporting Standard. D. None of these. Correct answer is B. 34 In cash flow statement, issue of shares is posted in: A. Sources of cash. B. Application of cash. C. Sources of funds. D. Application of funds. Correct answer is A. 35 In cash flow statement, issue of debentures is posted in: A. Application of cash. B. Sources of funds. C. Application of funds. D. Sources of cash. Correct answer is B. 36 Which one of the following combinations of accounting assumptions are fundamental as per as 1? A. Going concern, consistency, and accrual. B. Going concern, conservatism, and historic cost. C. Historic cost, consistency and conservatism. D. Conservatism, consistency, and accrual. Correct answer is A. 37 Cash flows arising from interest paid in the case of a financial enterprise is a cash flow from: A. Operating activities. B. Financing activities. C. Both A and B. D. Investing activities. Correct answer is A. 38 A main objective of providing depreciation is A. To calculate true profit, B. To calculate financial position, C. To reduce tax burden, D. To reduce profit. Correct answer is A. 39 Depreciation is provided on A. Fixed assets, B. Outward charges, C. Current assets, D. Intangible assets. Correct answer is A. 40 Methods of preparation of trial balance. A. Total method, B. Totaling method, C. Total and balance method, D. Balance method. Answer, C. Correct answer is A. 41 The ratios which reveal the final result of the managerial policies and performance is A. Turnover ratios, B. Profitability ratio, C. Short-term solvency ratio, D. Long-term solvency ratio. Correct answer is B. 42 Provision for bad debts is calculated on A. Creditors, B. Sales, C. Purchases, D. Debtors. Correct answer is D. 43 Cost of capital is helpful in comparative analysis of various A. Source of finance, B. Source of services, C. Source of material, D. Product. Correct answer is A. 44 What includes omission of a transaction either in the journal or subsidiary books or in the ledger? A. Error of commission, B. Error of omission, C. Error of posting, D. Error of compensation. Correct answer is B. 45 Net profit ratio is A. A. Turnover ratio, B. Long-term solvency ratio, C. Short-term solvency ratio, D. Profitability ratio. Correct answer is D. 46 The ratio which shows the proportion of profits retained in the business out of the current year's profits is A. Retained earnings ratio, B. Payout ratio, C. Earnings per share, D. Price earnings ratio. Correct answer is A. 47 The ratio which indicates earnings per share reflected by the market price is A. Retained earnings ratio, B. Payout ratio, C. Earnings per share, D. Price earnings ratio. Correct answer is D. 48 The ratio shows the preference dividend as a proportion of profit available for shareholders is A. Interest cover ratio, B. Fixed dividend coverage ratio, C. Debt service coverage ratio, D. Dividend yield ratio. Correct answer is B. 49 The dividend is related to the market value of share in A. Interest cover ratio, B. Fixed dividend cover ratio, C. Debt service coverage ratio, D. Dividend yield ratio. Correct answer is D. 50 Turnover ratio is also known as A. Activity ratios, B. Solvency ratios, C. Liquidity ratios, D. Profitability ratios. Correct answer is A. 51 Inventory or stock turnover ratio is also called A. Stock velocity ratio, B. Debtors velocity ratio, C. Creditors velocity ratio, D. Working capital turnover ratio. Correct answer is A. 52 Sales, gross profit equals A. Net profit, B. Cost of production, C. Administrative expenses, D. Cost of goods sold. Correct answer is B. 53 What refers to liabilities which are repayable after a long period of time? A. Fixed liability, B. Current liability, C. Long-term liabilities, D. None of these. Correct answer is C. 54 Creditors turnover ratio is also called A. Stock turnover ratio, B. Debtors velocity ratio, C. Account payables ratio, D. Working capital turnover ratio. Correct answer is C. 55 Which ratio indicates the number of times the payables rotate in a year is A. Stock turnover ratio, B. Creditors velocity ratio, C. Working capital turnover ratio, D. None of the above. Correct answer is B. 56 Suspense account is opened when it does not tally A. Balance sheet, B. Trial balance, C. Trading account, D. Profit and loss account. Correct answer is B. 57 Liquid ratio is also called A. Super quick ratio, B. Current ratio, C. Cash position ratio, D. Acid test ratio. Correct answer is B. 58 An ideal liquid ratio is A. 1:1, B. 0.75:1, C. 0.50:1, D. 0.25:1. Correct answer is A. 59. The ratio establishes the relationship between fixed assets and long-term funds is A. Current ratio, B. Fixed assets ratio, C. Fixed assets turnover ratio, D. Debt equity ratio. Correct answer is B. 60. Capital gearing ratio is also known as A. Fixed assets turnover ratio, B. Proprietary ratio, C. Debt equity ratio, D. Leverage ratio. Correct answer is D. 61. Ratio of net profit before interest and tax to sales is A. Solvency ratio, B. Capital gearing ratio, C. Turnover ratio, D. Operating profit ratio. Correct answer is D. 62. According to International Accounting Standards Board, in which interests are financial reporting standards issued? A. Company directors, B. the public, C. Company auditors, D. the government. Correct answer is B. 63. Low turnover of stock ratio indicates A. Solvency position, B. Monopoly situation, C. Over investment in inventory, D. Liquidity position. Correct answer is C. 64. Financial statements are classified into how many statements? A. 4, B. 3, C. 2, D. 5. Correct answer is A. 65. In common size income statement analysis, which is taken as 100%? A. Sales, B. Cost of goods sold, C. Purchases, D. Total assets. Correct answer is A. 66. In case of a limited company, the term financial statements include A. Balance sheet, B. Profit and loss account, C. Profit and loss account and balance sheet, D. Profit and loss account, profit and loss appropriation account and balance sheet. Correct answer is D. 67. Financial statements provide a summary of A. Accounts, B. Assets, C. Liabilities, D. None of these. Correct answer is A. 68. Which of the following is not an error of commission? A. Wrong balancing of machinery account, B. Credit sales to Ali 5,000 rupees credited to his account, C. Cash sales not recorded in cash book, D. Overcasting of sales book. Correct answer is C. 69. Which is the accounting concept that requires the practice of crediting closing stock to the trading account? A. Going concern, B. Cost, C. Realization, D. Matching. Correct answer is D. 70. When financial statements for a number of years are reviewed and analyzed, the analysis is known as A. Vertical analysis, B. Internal analysis, C. Horizontal analysis, D. None of these. Correct answer is C. 71. According to money measurement concept, which one the following will be recorded in the books of accounts? A. Excellent morale of workers, B. Quality control in the business, C. Managing ability of the manager, D. Cost of machinery. Correct answer is D. 72. Trial balance is A. A subsidiary book, B. a principal book, C. an account, D. a statement. Correct answer is D. 73. Horizontal analysis is also known as A. Static analysis, B. Structural analysis, C. Dynamic analysis, D. None of these. Correct answer is C. 74. Interpretation broadly include A. Drawing conclusions, B. Comparison and trend study, C. Criticism and analysis, D. All of the above. Correct answer is D. 75. The short-term analysis of financial statements is mainly concerned with A. Stability of the concern, B. Earning potential of the concern, C. Working capital analysis, D. None of these. Correct answer is C. 76. Balance sheet is prepared primarily with the following group in view of A. Owners, B. Creditors, C. Government, D. Management. Correct answer is A. 77. The analysis by a banker for the purpose of granting cash credit to a concern is an example of A. Critical analysis, B. External analysis, C. Internal analysis, D. None of the above. Correct answer is C. 78. Trend analysis is significant for A. Forecasting and budgeting, B. Profit planning, C. Capital rationing, D. Working capital management. Correct answer is A. 79. The excess of current assets over current liabilities is called A. Net tangible worth, B. Net worth, C. Gross working capital, D. Net working capital. Correct answer is C. 80. The discount column of a triple column cash book records A. Trade discount, B. Cash discount, C. Quantity discount, D. Seasonal discount. Correct answer is B. 81. When furniture is sold for cash, the entry should be made in A. Sales book, B. Cash book, C. Journal, D. Petty cash book. Correct answer is B. 82. Which one of the following is an example of personal account? A. Capital account, B. Building account, C. Cash account, D. Investment account. Correct answer is A. 83. Bills payable book is A. Subsidiary book, B. Principal book, C. Ledger, D. Memorandum book. Correct answer is A. 84. The balance of the petty cash book is A. An asset, B. A liability, C. An income, D. An expenditure. Correct answer is A. 85. Which one of the following sentences is not a distinction between financial accounts and management accounts? A. Financial accounts are primarily for external users and management accounts are primarily for internal users. B. Financial accounts are normally produced annually and management accounts are normally produced monthly. C. Financial accounts are mandatory whereas management accounts are voluntary. D. Financial accounts are audited by management whereas management accounts are audited by external auditors. Correct answer is D. 86. Carriage on sales. A. Debit trading account, B. Credit P&L account, C. Debit P&L account, D. Credit trading account. Correct answer is C. 87. Which account is generally used for rectification of errors? A. Memorandum account, B. Rectification account, C. Suspense account, D. Adjustment account. Correct answer is C. 88. A company includes in inventory goods received before the year end for which invoices are not received until after the year end. Which of the following concepts is the company applying? A. Historical cost, B. Accruals, C. Going concern, D. Substance over form. Correct answer is B. 89. Carriage on purchase. A. Debit side of trading account, B. Profit and loss account of credit side, C. Assets, D. Liabilities. Correct answer is A. 90. Which one of the following best describes the objective of management's stewardship of a company? A. Profit maximization, B. Safeguarding cash, C. Accountability for company's assets, D. High dividends for shareholders. Correct answer is C. 91. What is the primary objective of general-purpose financial statements? A. To provide financial information to the users of such information. B. To maintain records of assets and liabilities. C. To show the results of management's stewardship. D. To fulfill statutory requirements. Correct answer is A. 92. The main purpose of preparing a bank reconciliation statement is A. To know the bank balance, B. To compare the entries in the cash and pass books, C. To correct the cash after comparing with pass books, D. To reconcile cash balance as per pass book with the balance in the pass book. Correct answer is D. 93. Bank reconciliation statement is A. Ledger account, B. Part of the cash book, C. A separate statement, D. A subdivision of the journal. Correct answer is C. 94. A check received and paid into the bank on the same day is recorded in the A. Cash column of the cash book, B. Bank column of the cash book, C. Both the cash and bank columns of the book, D. The credit balance as per pass book. Correct answer is B. 95. Which one of the following is not taken into account in adjusting the cash balance? A. Mistakes in the cash book, B. Mistakes in the pass book, C. Bank charges debited in passbook. D. Interest and dividend credited in passbook. Correct answer is B. 96. Which of the following is the basis on which allowance for depreciation is charged to the statement of profit or loss? A. Accruals. B. Going concern. C. Prudence. D. Historical cost. Correct answer is A. 97. The residual interest in the assets of the entity after deducting all its liabilities. What is represented by the residual? A. Income. B. Profit. C. Gains. D. Equity. Correct answer is D. 98. A sole trader is 5,000 rupees overdrawn at her bank. She receives 1,000 rupees from a credit customer. Which elements of the financial statements will change due to this transaction? A. Assets and liabilities only. B. Liabilities only. C. Assets only. D. Assets, liabilities, and equity. Correct answer is A. 99. Wages paid for erection of machinery are debited to A. Wages account. B. Machinery account. C. Profit and loss account. D. Deferred wages account. Correct answer is B. 100. Amount paid for acquiring goodwill is A. Revenue expenditure. B. Deferred revenue expenditure. C. Capital expenditure. D. Deferred capital expenditure. Correct answer is C. 101. What is defined by the following statement? A resource controlled by an entity as a result of past events and from which future economic benefits are expected to flow to the entity. A. Income. B. An expense. C. A liability. D. An asset. Correct answer is D. 102. Which of the following should not appear in a company's statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income? A. A loss after taxation for the financial year. B. Dividends received from investments. C. Gain on revaluation of a non-current asset. D. Dividends paid to shareholders during the year. Correct answer is D. 103. Where should dividends paid to ordinary shareholders be shown in a company's published financial statements? A. In other comprehensive income. B. In the statement of financial position. C. In the statement of changes in equity. D. In the statement of profit or loss. Correct answer is C. 104. Which of the following items could appear in a company's statement of cash flows? 1. Proposed dividends. 2. Rights issue of shares. 3. Bonus issue of shares. 4. Repayment of loan. A1 and 3. B1 and 4. C2 and 3. D2 and 4. Correct answer is D. 105. Overcasting of purchases journal would affect A. Sales account. B. Purchase account. C. Suppliers account. D. Sales returns account. Correct answer is B. 106. Which of the following will be of least concern to a company's providers of loan finance? A. Current share price. B. Profitability. C. Short-term liquidity. D. Solvency. Correct answer is A. 107. Sales to Mr. Gill recorded in purchase journal would affect A. Sales account. B. Sales account, purchases account, and Mr. Gill's account. C. Purchases account and sales account. D. Journal proper. Correct answer is B. 108. Purchases made on credit not recorded at all would affect A. Purchases account. B. Suppliers account. C. Purchases account and suppliers account. D. Wages account. Correct answer is C. 109. Journal proper is meant for recording A. Credit purchase of fixed assets. B. Return of goods. C. All such transactions for which no special journal has been kept by the business. D. Supply of goods. Correct answer is C. 110. Accounting provides information on A. Cost and income for managers. B. Company tax liability. C. Financial conditions of an institution. D. All of the above. Correct answer is D. 111. The long-term assets that have no physical existence but are rights that have value is known as A. Current assets. B. Fixed assets. C. Intangible assets. D. Investments. Correct answer is C. 112. The assets that can be converted into cash within a short period, i.e. 1 year or less, are known as A. Current assets. B. Fixed assets. C. Intangible assets. D. Investments. Correct answer is A. 113. The following is not a type of liability. A. Short-term. B. Current. C. Fixed. D. Contingent. Correct answer is A. 114. The debts, which are to be repaid within a short period, year or less, are known as A. Current liability. B. Fixed liability. C. Contingent liability. D. All the above. Correct answer is A. 115. Petty cash may be used to pay A. The expenses relating to postage and conveyance. B. Salaries and wages to the final staff. C. For the purchase of furniture and fittings. D. Other recurring expenses. Correct answer is A. 116. Any written evidence in support of a business transaction is called A. Journal. B. Ledger. C. Ledger posting. D. Voucher. Correct answer is D. 117. Real accounts records. A. Dealings with creditors or debtors. B. Dealings in commodities. C. Gains and losses. D. All of the above. Correct answer is B. 118. Goodwill account is related to A. Nominal account. B. Personal account. C. Real account. D. Tangible account. Correct answer is C. 119. The following is or are the types of journal. A. Purchase journal. B. Sales journal. C. Cash journal. D. All the above. Correct answer is D. 120. A liability is shown in the balance sheet because of A. Convention of consistency. B. Convention of materiality. C. Convention of disclosure. D. Convention of adventure. Correct answer is C. 121. The form of balance sheet is A. Vertical. B. Horizontal. C. Horizontal or vertical. D. Horizontal and vertical. Correct answer is C. 122. The cost of capital method includes A. Dividend yield method. B. Earning yield method. C. Dividend yield and growth in dividend method. D. All of the above. Correct answer is D. 123. Balance sheets are prepared A. Daily. B. Weekly. C. Annually. D. Monthly. Correct answer is C. 124. The ratios that refer to the ability of the firm to meet the short-term obligations out of its short-term resources. A. Liquidity ratio. B. Leverage ratios. C. Activity ratios. D. Profitability ratios. Correct answer is A. 125. Current ratio equals A. Quick assets / current liabilities. B. Current assets / current liabilities. C. Debt / equity. D. Current assets / equity. Correct answer is B. 126. Which English alphabet is similar to the shape of an ledger account? A. I. B. T. C. H. D. Y. Correct answer is B. 127. What in a ledger helps in locating the accounts contained in it? A. Folio. B. Pages. C. Serial numbers. D. Part numbers. Correct answer is A. 128. Ledger is also called A. Principal book of accounts. B. Cash book. C. Subsidiary books. D. Petty cash book. Correct answer is A. 129. 500 rupees spent on servicing office typewriter should be debited to A. Miscellaneous expenses account. B. Typewriter account. C. Repairs account. D. Services account. Correct answer is C. 130. Wages paid to workers must be debited to which account? A. Wages. B. Machinery. C. Factory expenses. D. Offices expenses. Correct answer is A. 131. The information for the preparation of receipt and payments account is taken from A. Cash book. B. Income and expenditure. C. Cash book and balance sheet. D. Revenue account. Correct answer is A. 132. Any written document in support of a business transaction is called A voucher, B. bill, C. carbon copy, D. expense bill. Correct answer is A. 133. What is given to promote sales? A. cash discount, B. trade discount, C. quantity discount, D. price discount. Correct answer is B. 134. What is allowed to encourage early cash payment? A. cash discount, B. trade discount, C. quantity discount, D. price discount. Correct answer is A. 135. The basic function of financial accounting is to A. record all business transactions, B. interpret the financial data, C. assist the management in performing functions effectively, D. information to management. Correct answer is A. 136. Bookkeeping is mainly concerned with A. recording of financial data relating to business operations, B. designing the system in recording, classifying, summarizing the recorded data, C. interpreting the data for internal and external end users, D. only for internal purposes. Correct answer is A. 137. The system of recording transactions based on dual aspect concept is called A. double account system, B. double entry system, C. single entry system, D. single account system. Correct answer is B. 138. The convention of conservatism is applicable A. in providing for discount on creditors, B. in making provision for bad debts and doubtful debts, C. in making provision for depreciation, D. in making provision for contingencies. Correct answer is B. 139. The amount brought in by the proprietor in the business should be credited to A. cash account, B. capital account, C. drawing account, D. bank account. Correct answer is B. 140. Credit sales are recorded in A. sales book, B. cash book, C. journal proper, D. purchases book. Correct answer is A. 141. The cash book records A. all cash payments, B. all cash receipts, C. all cash receipts and payments, D. only credit payments. Correct answer is C. 142. In triple column cash book, cash withdrawn from bank for office use will appear in A. debit side of the cash book only, B. both sides of the cash book, C. credit side of the cash book only, D. credit side of the bank account. Correct answer is B. 143. Debit balance in cash book means A. overdraft as per pass book, B. overdraft as per cash book, C. credit balance as per pass book, D. debit balance as per day book. Correct answer is C. 144. A bank passbook is a copy of A. the cash column of a customer's cash book, B. the bank column of a customer's cash book, C. the customer's account in the bank's ledger, D. the customer account in the supplier's ledger. Correct answer is C. 145. Cost of goods purchased for resale is an example of A. deferred revenue expenditure, B. revenue expenditure, C. capital expenditure, D. common expenditure. Correct answer is B. 146. Trading account is prepared to find out A. gross profit or loss, B. net profit or loss, C. financial position, D. position of the partners. Correct answer is A. 147. Outstanding salaries are shown as A. an expense, B. a liability, C. an asset, D. an income. Correct answer is B. 148 Interest on drawings is A. Expenditure for the business. B. Expense for the business. C. Gain for the business. D. Loss for the business. Correct answer is C. 149 Balance sheet is A. A. Statement. B. Account. C. Ledger. D. Book. Correct answer is A. 150 Wages is an example of A. Capital expenses. B. Indirect expenses. C. Direct expenses. D. Revenue expenses. Correct answer is C. Best of luck for your exams. Consider to subscribe, if you are new here.